Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by TheGamingGang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. Yes, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of TheGamingGang.com. Anyway, I do want to point out, this is not a first look and page through of Pathfinder's Bestiary 2. Oops. I knew I was missing something today. I knew there was something I was missing. Forgot to take that out. Forgot to take that out of the opening. So it's like, oh look, there's a Pathfinder Bestiary 2 again. Which I do want to point out, hey, if you have checked out that video, thank you very much, because I think we pulled in about 1,100 views in the first couple of days that it's been out, so pretty sweet. 2.5 days, somewhere around that. Anyway, tonight is Monday, May 11th, 2020. This is episode 484 of The Daily Dope. If this is your first time stopping in, let me point out, very, very casual. This is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. Just hanging out, talking about the latest news as far as tabletop gaming. Board games, card games, role-playing games. Every once in a while, we'll talk a little PC games and pop culture stuff, but for the most part, it's all tabletop gaming. Anyway, do want to also mention, because this is a live stream, that also means that there is chat available right here on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, comment, what have you, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So I do see that the Madman is in chat with us tonight so far also. Do want to mention a pretty obvious thing right here. So, before I jump into the news, I should point out that my preamp suddenly has acquired a hum. And I guess maybe it's had a hum all along. I never listen to the recordings of the show with headphones on. I usually just check it out on the laptop, make sure at least the sound is in sync and stuff like that. It's not, complete mess. But it turns out that there's this really loud buzz now, and thankfully I've got a new preamp on its way. Won't get it until Wednesday, or no, I should say Thursday. Probably after I start streaming, with my luck. But I had to move the microphone closer, so if I kept it out of the shot, I would have to boost the gain up so much where you would just hear them in the background. So, and strangely enough, we're kind of peeking up into the red a little bit with the audio. Let me pull this down a little. Don't want any clipping or anything like that. So I have been playing with the audio a bit. So, hopefully it is also in sync, because I have a new chain as far as how I'm doing the audio as well. Anyway, I should also point out that if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe, don't forget to ring that little notification bell, because it will not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also tell you when I upload standalone videos, such as my aforementioned Pathfinder Bestiary 2. So the Madman says the audio seems fine so far. Fingers crossed. You know, interestingly enough, the Madman mentions, yes, fine so far. Yeah, because Thursday night, I was going to do the page through live. And I started doing the page through, and it was just, all of a sudden we got all this choppiness in the video. So I changed a couple of things, and I came back, and the video, within about 10 minutes, all of a sudden it was all like this. So we really didn't have an episode on Thursday. But I gotta say, it probably worked out a little bit better, because I would take a guess that by this point I would probably have maybe 500 views on the live show. With the Bestiary 2, we've got probably about double that. Although, I gotta be honest, the audio on it is awful. That's when I learned that I got this hum in the preamp. Viper Dave is popping in chat as well. Alright, so I've meandered on for about 6 minutes here. Let's jump on into the news. Because arriving this September from Days of Wonder is a new entry-level title in the Ticket to Ride series. I've got the dope on Ticket to Ride Amsterdam. Ticket to Ride Amsterdam features the familiar gameplay from the Ticket to Ride game series. Collect cards, claim routes, draw tickets, but on a map of 17th century Amsterdam that allows you to complete a game in no more than 15 minutes. You're in the middle of the Golden Eeuw, the Dutch Golden Age. Amsterdam is the beating heart of global trade and the wealthiest city on Earth. Goods from around the world are piling up on the docks, I hate when that happens, in ship holds and warehouses and on the banks of its countless canals. You mean to profit from this. Each player starts with a supply of 16 cards, 2 transportation cards in hand, and 1 or 2 trade contract tickets that show locations in the Amsterdam market. On a turn, you either draw 2 transportation cards from the deck, or the display of 5 face-up cards, or take 1 face-up wild card, which counts as all 6 colors in the game. Or you claim a route on the board by discarding cards that match the color of the route being claimed, with any set of cards allowing you to claim a gray route. Or route, however you prefer to pronounce that. Or you can also draw 2 trade contract tickets and keep at least 1 of them. Whenever you complete a route that has carts depicted on it, with these primarily being on the perimeter of the city, you claim a merchandise bonus card. Players take turns until someone has no more than 2 carts in their supply. Then each player takes 1 final turn, including the player who triggered the end of the game. Players then sum their points, scoring points for the routes that they've claimed during the game, the trade contract tickets that they've completed by connecting the 2 locations on a ticket by a continuous line of their cards, and their standing among those who hold merchandise bonus cards. Whoever holds the most cards collects 8 points, with other players collecting, obviously enough, fewer points. You lose points for any uncompleted contract tickets. Then whoever has the high score wins. Ticket to Ride Amsterdam is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, plays in 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to come out in September. There is no MSRP information available just yet. Interesting. Although I have to mention, and Ticket to Ride's fine. Ticket to Ride's a nice little gateway game. I have not played it in a long, long time, but it was actually one of the first Euro games I ever played. I'm kind of surprised that we keep seeing more and more Ticket to Ride games that are just, like, really fast playing. 10 to 15 minutes? Really? I don't know. I started getting into, if a game is, like, less than 15 minutes, I start wondering, I don't know, is that game going to be for me? But, because I'm just one of these people, I like my games to last a little bit longer. A half-hour game is cool. I like half-hour games. I always call those wind up, wind down games. I don't call them fillers. I call them wind up, wind down because you wind up or wind down an evening or afternoon or what have you of gaming with them. But I like Ticket to Ride. I don't know. For one, I think it is kind of cool that they're doing a 17th century Amsterdam edition. So that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of funny. So maybe it's a ticket to ride on a cart being pulled by a donkey. So the Madman also points out that they prefer longer games as well. I tend to find very short games don't have a lot of strategy. And I am a strategy fan. I like coming up with some tactics and things like that. All right, Flaming Heron's popping into chat with us too. Very cool. Very good. Hopefully the audio is a little bit better than last time Flaming Heron popped in, because I think that was when we first started seeing that we had some problems with the preamp. Let's move on to my next news piece, because Janitor Interactive and Game and a Curry Games have a new card drafting game. It's up on Kickstarter. I've got the dope on. Battle of the Boy Bands. In Battle of the Boy Bands, say that 5 times fast, 3 to 6 players take on the roles of producers in the pop music industry. I want to be the Colonel. I want to be the Colonel, yes. And must build boy bands to compete in special events. The player with the most points at the end of 6 rounds wins the game. During each round, players try to win the event in play by building the boy band that will earn the most points according to the special event rules. Equipping perk cards from the breaking news deck to boys can give them extra points. Players can sabotage each other's boy bands by playing attack cards from the breaking news deck against them, but watch out! Players can also protect their boys with defend cards. There is a Kickstarter video for Battle of the Boy Bands. It's a little more than 3 minutes long. So let's kick back and let's give it a watch.
Stuck up in the middle, in between you and I. Always be your captain. Be your captain. I trust you, but you know me like no one else. You know me like no one else.
Hi, I'm Vicky Ho. I'm one of the game designers for Battle of the Boy Bands.
Hi, I'm Cleo Yunsu Davis, and I'm the co-designer of Battle of the Boy Bands.
Battle of the Boy Bands is a card game where you draft a team of boys to form a boy band, and then you compete with your friends or enemies.
Players take on the roles of music producers in the competitive pop music industry, and they have to create boy bands and make them compete against each other in special events.
You start off by drafting. Once you've drafted the boys, then
pick up some special cards that you can use to attack the other bands, attach perks to your boys so that they can come out on top, and defend against some of those vicious attacks. I'm a big boy band fan in general. I'm a big fan of K-pop, so Battle of the Boy Bands came to me very naturally when I was literally it was a shower idea.
We wanted to make a fun card game. You know, it took us a little while, a lot of playtests, and then now we are finally ready.
Battle of the Boy Bands is special, in my opinion, because it strikes a balance of encouraging players to just have fun with it and be the most vicious music producer they can be, and also to kind of pause and think, wow, some of this stuff is really messed up. I wonder if this really does happen in the entertainment industry, and sometimes it really does. So if it can make a player think for a second, while also still encouraging them to just have fun and go all out, then I think it's like exactly what I was going for.
It somehow speaks to players, and they personally really connect with the boys that we've come up with. In many playtests we've done, we've seen people get very attached to the boys. I also just genuinely think that people really enjoy it even when they're losing. Because it's just fun to interact with other players. Yeah, generally it gets really rowdy after a while, and it's just been really fun watching people play and having a good time.
The game is ready, we just need your help to get it to the printers and ship to your hands.
Thanks for checking out our Kickstarter, and we hope you enjoy the game.
Battle of the Boy Bands is for 2 to 6 players, ages 13 and up, and plays in around 45 minutes to an hour. I think it might have been 3 to 6. No, I think it is 2 to 6. The project is already funded, and you can reserve a copy of the game for a $25 pledge through June 4th, and the expected delivery is this November. Okay, so I'm sure there's some folks who watch the Daily Dope and they're thinking, really, Jeff? What a boy band game? Seriously, you're sharing that? Yeah, I am. Because it's like, just think. You might have kids or grandkids or, I don't know, friends, or maybe you yourself are a big fan of like J-pop or K-pop. I think this would be perfect. At least it seems like it would be. So it could be a lot of fun. It could be kind of a cool card drafting game where it's kind of take that, I'm gonna ruin your band. So anyway, and plus $25. I think that's a pretty friendly price there. I really do. So moving right along. So Flaming Huron says that the audio is crystal clear. Hopefully it's on this video, because the bestiary video, there's like a hum. That's where I first found out about the hum, because I actually started listening to it with headphones, and I was like, what the is that? Bicycle Cards is increasing their presence in the gaming market with 2 new releases coming this June. I've got the dope on the Alpha and Exchange. First up, we've got the Alpha. Lead your wolf pack as you claim territory, search for food, and hunt prey. After a successful hunt, you may enter a conflict with another pack. If that happens, you'll have to decide whether you want to risk injury by fighting to keep the food for your own pack, or risk giving up all the food found in the region by sharing with the other pack. In Alpha, or I should say the Alpha, players control a wolf pack, leading wolves on the search for food. The near forest includes easier to catch but lower value prey. The far forest has larger prey that are more difficult to attack, but if successful, can result in great reward. Now, there are no humans in the game, so you'll lead your wolves through 4 stages of the hunt. Stalk. Send your wolves to hunt in various regions of the forest and outnumber rival packs that become dominant in the area. Chase. Roll the dice for the region to determine the success of the hunt. Resolve. Enter conflict and decide whether to fight or share food with other packs in the region. And Advance. Move your wolf on the food track to indicate the amount of food secured during the hunt. At the end of 5 weeks, rounds, you're not actually playing for 5 weeks, the wolf pack with the most food will be declared the Alpha. The Alpha is for 3 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, and plays in around 20 to 45 minutes. Then we have Exchange. The year is 1792, and UN23 New York City stockbrokers just signed the Button Wood Agreement. In a few short years, this group of brokers would be known as the New York Stock Exchange, one of the greatest and most influential pillars in the global economy. Exchange is a stock trading game of strategy and wit. Players carefully plan their strategy phase by phase, trying to cash in big in a constantly changing market. However, playing the market is only half the battle. The only thing harder to predict than the stock market might just be the players sitting at the table with you. The one who can best match wits with their opponents will reign victorious in this fast-paced battle of social elites. At the end of 5 rounds, what's with the 5 rounds in these games? The player with the highest net worth, money, wins the game. Exchange is for 3 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, and plays in around 30 to 45 minutes. Both these games are going to arrive in stores on June 16th and carry MSRPs of $29.99. And I should point out that... Ooh, look at this. So I've got the alpha. And I've also got Exchange. So I've got both of these. We are going to be taking a peek at these. I gotta say, I am not always money games. I don't necessarily. But I'm going to check it out. The alpha looks pretty interesting. Kind of cool. So, bicycle cards. Pretty wild. So these are the first of their 2 light strategy games that they are releasing. So, the Madman says, my daughter loves wolves. She might like the alpha. I'll tell you what. I will kind of show you the back of the box here. I know I showed you a couple of images. There aren't a lot of images out for these. Although Exchange was already released, I think it was like self-published. The alpha, I think, is brand spanking new. So, there you go. There's the alpha. So, and it's got little animal meeples in it. Looks like they're wolf tokens, little wooden wolf tokens. So, we'll get a look at these pretty soon, and I will do my best to have some reviews for both before they hit stores next month. All right, let's get back on into the news, because I've got more news about June, because June is going to see the release of a major campaign for Forbidden Lands. I almost said, why was I saying Forgotten Lands? It was only one of my top RPGs of 2018. Yes, it's for Forbidden Lands from Free League Publishing, or as some folks like to pronounce Free Legal. I've got the dope on the Bitter Reach. Get ready for a long, cold winter. The Bitter Reach is a huge expansion to our multiple award-winning sandbox survival retro fantasy role-playing game, Forbidden Lands. The book is written by Magnus Seeher and illustrated by Alvaro Tapia, with maps by Tobias Trinell and Nicholas Brandt. The book will expand the game world and includes new rules, monsters, and encounters, as well as the complete Wake of the Winter King campaign. 'Neath the ice and snow in the cursed lands north of Ravenland, an ancient power is stirring. The 320-page tome should arrive in June. I don't have an exact date yet. I do not have pricing information just yet either. I am actually going to probably be putting together an interview with Tomas from Free League Publishing sometime next week. We will chat about this. We will chat about the Aliens, the starter set that's coming out for Alien. Said Aliens, I believe it is Alien, the role-playing game. And supposedly, the starter set for Tales from the Loop is being sent my way. So, we will be getting a peek at that as well. But next week, I should have an interview with Tomas from Free League, and we'll talk all things Free League Publishing, because they've got a lot of cool stuff. My final news piece, now available in PDF from Chaosium Inc. for RuneQuest, is the Pegasus Plateau and Other Tales. Here's the dope. Invitations to Adventure. 7 ready-to-play adventures for RuneQuest. Set in the mythic fantasy world of Glorantha, the Pegasus Plateau and Other Stories features 7 complete ready-to-play adventures, taking you from ghoul-haunted catacombs into mystic ruins across the arid deserts of Prax and up the rocky pinnacle of the Pegasus Plateau. The 7 adventures are, well, one of them, I'm sure you've guessed, is the Pegasus Plateau, and it's a desperate race to the top of a mountain to claim a priceless reward. The Great Crane concerns an ancient legacy stolen from its rightful owner. The Rattling Wind is a deadly tale of ghosts and unearthly revenge. Crimson Petals describes a curse afflicting a beleaguered town. Gloom Willow's Hollow details the woods of the dead, a realm ruled by ghouls and worse. And we also have The Ruin on the Stream. It delves into an ancient ruin, thus the Ruin on the Stream, in search of long-lost secrets of dragon magic. And finally, we've got The Pairing Stones, a tale of a wedding interrupted, lovers separated, and reunited. Hey, spoilers, come on. Additionally, the Locaeum is a new tribe for use by game masters and players in the lonely village of Renaissance Hope, perched between the Lunar Empire and its enemies in Sotard, provide refuge or a springboard for adventure. Suitable for new and veteran game masters and players, each adventure spotlights a unique aspect or area of Dragon Pass that can be used as introductions to Glorantha or as part of existing campaigns. The 160-page PDF is available right now at DriveThruRPG for $16.99. Nice! I always like to see new RuneQuest stuff pop up. Always dig that. And unfortunately, Greg Stafford's not with us any longer, but RuneQuest lives on because I have to admit, I think RuneQuest is probably, as far as role-playing game settings, I think RuneQuest, Glorantha, let's not say RuneQuest, let's say Glorantha because that's the setting. I want to say you had one person working on that for over 40 years. I don't know of any other game setting that one individual has completely invested themselves into for over 40 years. I don't, even Sandy Peterson. Is Sandy Peterson? Yeah, I guess Sandy Peterson would call it Cthulhu, but that's just Lovecraftian. That's not necessarily a game world. It is our world. Anyway, I also do want to mention that, of course, the Gaming Gang and thus the Daily Dope are affiliated with DriveThruRPG and the other One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit DriveThru or Dungeon Masters Guild or possibly Wargame Vault, please stop by at thegaminggang.com first, click on one of our banner ads, and if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little piece of that action, a very little piece. But I have to say, I really appreciate all the folks out there who do that month in, month out, because it actually pays for the gaminggang.com's web hosting pretty much every month. I think the last time it didn't was about 15, 16 months ago. So thank you very, very much for continuing to support the Gaming Gang, the Daily Dope, and little old me by visiting using our banner ads. So that's it for the news tonight. But there's a few things going on, so I did want to share this weekend. Okay, so first of all, here's a couple of things I want to mention. So you may notice, hopefully you don't hear anything when this happens, but see how that bounced? So I have a boom for a mic that I ordered, as well as a shock mount, which shock mounts, because normally I didn't have to worry about this, but now with this so close, when I move my arm, it kind of bumps this around. So I doubt you can really hear much, but the shock mount will actually, any vibration, it actually kind of absorbs it, so it doesn't pass through the mic. So anyway, so I ordered those on May 1st, along with some other stuff for the new overhead camera from Amazon. and it still has not shipped out. It's like, what? I actually just placed an order for some other stuff, some new lenses for both the cameras. I want to try some different lenses out instead of just the lenses that came with the cameras. So I placed that order as well as the new preamp. I ordered that on the 10th, and those are all going to arrive on the 14th. It's like, what? I don't know. I'm like, what? So supposedly they're claiming that the boom and the shock mount and the other stuff is supposed to be here by the 19th. I don't know. But over the weekend, Cameron and Lexie got together with me on, I almost said Zoom. It's WebEx. We've been using WebEx and Fantasy Grounds to roll up their Traveler characters. So all the Traveler characters are rolled up. All we need to do is get my best friend Elliot and his son Brian and Cameron and Lexie together so we can kind of tie their characters together. Because there's a kind of a thing in Traveler when you're supposed to roll them up all at the same time. But unfortunately, Cameron and Lexie weren't available when Elliot and Brian were. So anyway, so we did that. And I also ordered a backdrop for when I run Traveler. So I'm gonna hang that behind me. I know, I'm a dork. What can I tell you? So I know I'm goofy. I know. Anyway, tomorrow I'm supposed to get the Call of Cthulhu. I want to say it's a slipcase. So we'll be taking a look at the Investigator's Guide as well as the Keeper's, the Investigator's Handbook and Keeper's Guide. And I'm going to do a video review as well. I think I'm going to do a review for each book because they are available separate. And it won't be long. It won't take long to get those reviews out there because I'm intimately familiar with them, just the PDFs. So the Madman says, nice. I bought a backdrop for my East Texas University setting. Which is Savage Worlds. I know that. Because I know the Madman is a big fan of Savage Worlds. Isn't East Texas University kind of like a college horror sort of game? Isn't it kind of like a mashup sort of? Or am I thinking of a different setting? I might be thinking of a different setting. Also today, I got Battle Lords of the 23rd Century arrived for review. And this thing is huge. And I gotta tell you, I'm gonna try not to get a whole lot of glare. Alright, well that didn't work as well as I'd like it to. But this is a pretty impressive book. Now, I have not looked through it because I'm gonna do a first look and page through for this. It's just 500 and some pages. It's probably gonna take a while, but that's kind of interesting. Plus, I also got a couple of decks for the Bavaria game, so those arrived. I'm not sure if this is like coming to Kickstarter or if these are available already. I got to look at the paper, the little sheet that came with this in the little box. Other than that, I think that's kind of all that's been going on. But, so the Madman says it is Buffy at college. Aha. Okay, so I have to point out. I've watched all of maybe 5 minutes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The movie as well as the series. All of about 5 minutes. So, I don't know. So, nothing against it. I have absolutely nothing against Buffy or Joss Whedon or anything like that. Sarah Michelle Gellar. It's just, I just never watched it. Just like I've never watched Supernatural. fact, it was kind of funny. At 2 years ago, at Comic-Con, Elliot was in the round tables for the cast, where a lot of times what they'll do is I've done quite a few. I've done for like Man in the High Castle. They'll put you at a round table, and there's usually like eight reporters or journalists, whatever you want to consider us, right? And then they'll bring, like, each person will come and they will sit down for about 10 minutes, and everybody just fires questions and stuff like that. So Elliot had not watched the previous season. He had not seen it. Now, Elliot's wife has watched Supernatural all 142 seasons. I think it's 17 or 18 seasons, something like that. She's watched them all like 3 times. But Elliot had not seen that previous season, and he was catching up on it on YouTube in the hotel room before we left to go to the round table, because I acted as his cameraman for that. And I just thought it was hysterical. And I was like, man, the special effects in this show are really bad. It's like, yeah, but it's a really good show. I'm like, okay, all right. So the Madman says their next campaign is going to be Victorian horror, very much like Penny Dreadful. Yes, nice. I would say do yourself a favor and try to pick up Cthulhu by Gaslight, even if you're not doing Lovecraftian stuff. Or Stygian Fox has Hudson and Brand. That's a very good. Okay, I can't say, oh, it's very good, like I've read it. I have not read it. I have not checked it out. But I have heard really good things about it. And Stygian Fox does really nice stuff. Nice role-playing games. I have done a couple of reviews of their modern Cthulhu Mythos adventures for Call of Cthulhu. So, very, very cool. And I gotta admit, I had talked about how I was really, really surprised how pricey the PDFs were lately from Stygian Fox. And they lowered the prices. And they actually contacted me and said, you know what, you're right. And they brought the prices down. I was like, holy cow. Somebody actually paid attention to what I said. It's amazing. You're very welcome, Madman. Anything I can do to toss out some stuff to give you an idea. Hudson and Brand, okay, so I have seen a little bit of the PDF, but there are a few releases for it. And if I remember correctly, the whole background is basically the player characters inherit Hudson and Brand, who are investigators of the unknown or something, of inquirers into the unknown or something like that. And so they actually start off with like their own little base of operations. So very cool. Very, very nicely done. All right. So I think that pretty much covers everything for tonight. As I always like to point out, if you like the video, by all means, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. I think now there's a setting on notifications where it's either notify me every once in a while or notify me every video. Okay. But if you do subscribe, maybe pick one of those. I don't know. Hey, at least if you, I think if you do every video, you will get a notification within a couple of moments when the Daily Dope streams live. So, and of course, you get notifications when I upload my standalone videos as well. Okay. So, hopefully didn't have any weird glitches. I think I've kind of ironed some stuff out. What I think I found out is that if I'm running 2 cameras, I can't do something like that, and I can't do something like this, because these are little video files, but they are huge video files because they're transparent. So, looks like it. So the Flaming Heron says, or don't notify you at all. Well, actually, a lot of people do that. He says, oh, I hope no one uses that one. I think about 88% of the subscribers use the nothing at all. So, That's okay. I don't mind. But so I think that's what the issue was, because I had the two cameras working and feeding into the program that I use. So when I do my overhead shots and stuff, we won't be seeing the little, hey, here's a little thumbs up thing. I'll have to tell you. Like the video. All right. Those of you who hung out and watched live in chat, thank you very much. Always appreciate folks kicking it with me. You know, otherwise I'm just being a goofball by myself, just blabbing off into the ether. But of course, if you watch after the fact, even if you're watching on Memorex, I most definitely appreciate that as well. Of course, I will be back tomorrow with another fresh batch of tabletop gaming news. So until then, by all means, like I've been saying during the pandemic, be smart and stay safe. See you tomorrow.
Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.